The northeast of Scotland is not known for its warm weather or its long growing season, and you can fix this to a certain extent with a polytunnel, which is part of my long-term plan, but with the cottage renovations it's not in the budget this year and it probably won't be next year either. So this week I'm going to attempt to make some hoop houses to cover a couple of my raised beds with. There's a high of 16 degrees Celsius today, and the irony of doing this on the hottest day of the year so far is not lost on me. But we can get snow here until the end of April, and our last frost date isn't until the end of May. So there could still be a cold snap, and I don't want all of the vegetables I'm growing to get beaten by the frost the moment I put them outside. I'm following a brilliant YouTube tutorial from Hugh Richards to build this hoop cover. I'll link to it in case you want to build your own. Hugh's channel is an incredible gardening and permaculture resource. I've managed to make the exact mistake I was trying not to make, and I've cut the end pieces of the frame slightly too short so that it overhangs on the inside of the bed rather than the outside, which looks fine but does mean that it will cast more shade over the things I'm trying to grow, which I'm trying to avoid. And before I go any further, I'm going to unscrew them, cut new pieces, and I'll use those existing end pieces for the uprights in a little bit. I am ridiculous. What did I do that for? That's not even right. This is yet another job that would be easier with another person to help, but I make do as best I can.
How are you not in the middle? I measured!
Clearly with mixed results. Cutting the pipe to equal lengths was the worst part of this entire project. If you've watched any of my previous videos, in fact, even just watching this one, you'll know that accurate measuring is not something that I'm good at.
How are you too short?
I've made some good progress on this today. All I've got to do is cover it in plastic, attach the plastic, and then attach the hinges, and it'll be good to go. It looks pretty industrial. It's very blue. I think I'd probably prefer it if the pipe was black, but as my mum liked to say, beggars can't be choosers, and it'll be fine. It'll be full of vegetables, and hopefully I will be able to get some good crops out of it, and it'll extend my growing season a little bit. And productive is more important than pretty. So there we go. All of my sheds are disaster zones. People keep asking me to do a live stream, and if you're not careful, you'll get a live stream shed clear out, and I'm not sure the internet is ready for that. I could only get the polytunnel plastic in double the width I needed, but this way I'll have enough to make a second one in the future. It can live in the shed for now, along with everything else I own. All that's left to do now is put the hinges on. And I don't want to tempt fate, but I don't think even I can mess this up. I don't know why I'm quite so surprised that this has worked. I'm really pleased with how my hoop house turned out, and I want to make something similar to go over my strawberry bed to keep the birds from eating all the berries. My plan initially was to just make exactly the same frame and cover it with net instead of plastic, but I want to make a few tweaks, partly because I didn't order enough supplies and I made some mistakes, so I don't have quite enough timber left over to make an identical one, and also, without the plastic, the frame looks pretty industrial, which is absolutely fine. It'll do the job and it would be perfect for an allotment, but I can see these from the windows of the cottage, so I'd like it to be a little bit prettier if I can make it work. I'm going to give it a go. 63, 126 plus whatever that is. Why didn't I bring a tape measure down here? Oh, why am I like this? This next step is completely unnecessary. I could just use the blue pipe as it is, but I think it'd look better black and be slightly less construction site and a little bit more nice vegetable garden. I'm not sure how well it's going to work. I've done a test of the spray paint on the pipe and it seems to adhere to it okay, but it does scratch off quite easily. I don't know how scratched it's likely to get when it's in position, but I'm going to give it a try. And if I hate it and it holds up terribly, I can replace it with some black pipe further down the line. And you can get black 25mm pipe. I just couldn't pick any up locally. I could only get blue stuff and I didn't really think it through. But I can order some black pipe online at a later date if I have to. This is raw linseed oil, which is natural and food safe, as opposed to boiled linseed oil, which is toxic. I am pretty happy with that. Just needs a paint touch up and some net, and we're good to go. I had grand plans of finishing this week's video by getting the net on the hoop house and ticking another project off the list. However, it turns out that supplies don't arrive if you don't actually order them and instead just leave them in your cart, forget about them, and then wonder why they haven't been delivered yet. If this renovation gets started, let alone finished, it will be an absolute miracle. So the hoop house is going to have to wait until next week, but I'm happy with how it's looking. I think it looks a lot less construction site than the blue one with the plastic, although now it's got plastic on it, it's absolutely fine. And hopefully I'll have 2 productive raised beds in a few months' time, and the birds won't eat all of my strawberries, but I'm not going to say that too loudly because I'm sure the birds could outwit me. Let's face it, it's not going to take much. Thanks for watching. See you next weekend.